Good afternoon folks, Curiosities of Staffordshire here again, standing just outside the village of Hopton on a very busy road on a very blustery day in Staffordshire, and we're here to look at the battlefield of Hopton Heath, which is signposted just across the road, and I'm standing just at the entrance of the site, which is rather overgrown and can be entered by this gate. Now if we just take a panoramic view of the battlefield here, it's fairly nondescript, but there is a plaque around here somewhere that commemorates the occasion, which marks it as a fairly significant battle really, even though it was fairly small in scale. Now the battlefield originally would have stretched probably to the woods in the distance there, which is now the MOD site that is fenced off. Just wait for the siren to go past there. And as I was saying, on this field in 1643, the 19th of March 1643, it became the battlefield of Hopton Heath during the English Civil War between the Royalists and the Parliamentarians. Now just a bit of context, on the 6th of March the town of Lichfield, which is about 10-15 miles south of here, had fallen to Parliamentarians after a siege, and King Charles responded to this by sending his General Northampton, that is Spencer Compton, the Earl of Northampton, who was stationed at Stafford, to try and retake the town some days later. Now for this, Northampton had assembled a host some 1,200 strong, including over 1,000 cavalrymen, so quite a formidable host, and his aim was to retake Lichfield. But his scouts had got word that the Parliamentarian army under Sir John Gell was marching towards the village of Hopton, just outside Stafford, in order to meet up with his reinforcements under William Brereton. And when the two armies joined, they assembled a host some 1,500 men strong, mostly infantry. But as I said, the Northampton had got word of this, and instead of moving towards Lichfield and leaving Stafford unguarded, his scouts had assessed that almost certainly that this Parliamentarian army was going to march towards Stafford next. He marched out towards Hopton to cut them off, and they met on this field sort of around mid-afternoon on that day. Now the battle itself was a fairly short affair, lasting barely until the evening, when the Parliamentarians left the field after some horrific artillery fire from the Royalist camp, including one of the biggest cannons of the day called Roaring Meg, which is actually not the Roaring Meg that was famous during the Civil War, which was actually a mortar that was made some years later, but this was quite a formidable cannon in its own right. The Parliamentarian army was decimated, with some 500 losses occurring on each side. When you consider that there are maybe around just under 3,000 belligerents in total, for a short battle some 500 casualties is a pretty hefty percentage, but these battles were typically short in duration and very, very bloody affairs. Now the Royalists did sustain one significant casualty in this battle, and that was the Earl of Northampton himself, who fell, who was unhorsed and later died of his wounds, which left the battle in a rather undecisive state. Although the Parliamentarians had retreated, the Royalists had lost one of their most capable generals, and both sides ended the day claiming victory. So on the face of it, it looked like this was not a significant battle at all, but it is recognised as one of the 40-odd significant battles during the Civil War to be honoured with a plaque, which is around here somewhere if you can find it, but I haven't been able to find a gap in the bad weather long enough to actually go looking for it, so maybe that's one for another day. But if you'd like to visit, this battlefield is just off the A518. It's signposted from the A518 as you head towards the Stafford County Showground, that area, or towards Uttoxeter in the other direction. And the village of Hopton is just down the road. Just a word of warning, this is a very busy road, and there is very, very, very little parking around, so you might struggle to park somewhere near. I've had to park a little bit further away and walk. So just a word of warning if you are thinking of visiting. this was a short history on the Battle of Hopton Heath, which took place on this site, 19th of March 1643. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.